welcome to Four Weebs, that anime podcast where we pick some good anime and some bad anime, we watch it, and we talk about it. Like Anime Book Club. My name's Leah, I'll be the host for this week, and with me I have Liam.
Sup. Boob physics.
Boobs.
Am I right?
Yeah. All boobs all the time. Alright. Anything new and interesting, Liam? Any anime updates?
Yes, I finished Bakano, and it was good. I think
watch?
I gave it definitely worth the watch, because the story is so it's like so it jumps back and forth a lot that you don't really finish the whole story until you get to the end.
Yeah,
crazy, right? The story
Yeah.
doesn't end until the show ends. Whoa. So yeah, it was good. And I've been, just trying to get back into the habit of watching more shows regularly, and it's been good.
Did you watch any more My Hero Academia?
No, but that one's still on the list for sure. I was gonna, that was next in line after Bakano, but now the priorities lie in Samurai Champloo and Samurai Jack. So yeah. Although I don't know if it might just do Boku no Hero and Samurai Champloo at the same time and just kind of switch between the two, because they're both at least 24 episodes. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish Samurai Jack first though. Yeah, for listeners, there will have been an episode released before this pertaining to Samurai Champloo and Samurai Jack, so if you didn't listen to it, go back, give it a listen. We enjoyed them thoroughly. We have to think about our future and past talking, since we're recording ahead of time. I think it'll be fine.
Time travel. Woo.
And just to if you're wondering if this episode's late or not, it's not. We're just switching to a 2-week release schedule now, because we're getting back to that grind of school soon, and we're gonna be busy, and there's only 2 of us, so back to 2-week release schedule for now.
Yay, post-secondary. Those are my thoughts.
What's new with you?
I did watch a bit more of Boku no Hero. I do intend to keep going. And what was it I read the other day? I'm probably really behind on the anime news here, but I found out that they're gonna redub Vision of Escaflowne, the anime.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
I was reading an article on it, and I thought it was quite exciting. We'll see if it actually happens. And I ended up reading it because I saw some news about, Vic Mignogna, right?
Yep.
Voice actor. Some news popped up about, how he's really, pervy with all the girls, and that, I guess, when they announced that he was going to be voicing Von Fennell, which is, the main character on the show, that I guess people are, raging, and there's actually, a petition going around to, boycott the show because of it. So I was
classic nerd rage.
Yeah, it very much nerd rage. So I was like, I need to read up on my anime news more often. I'm missing out on all the drama. But yeah, that's pretty much all for anime for me since we've last spoke. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, should we get into the animes for this week?
We shall. Which would you like to start with, Liam?
Let's start with the bad one.
Okay.
As always.
As always, yeah. All right. So earlier in the week, I got a good text message from Liam being like, wow, you found some good trash with this one. And I was like, yay, but no, because I haven't watched it yet. So should be interesting. It's called Taboo Tattoo. Seigi, a martial arts trained middle schooler, often feels driven to protect the weaker people around him. One day he defends a homeless man against some punks, and the man gives him a strange tattoo on his palm in return. The tattoo is a secret weapon produced in the arms race between America and the Suriname Kingdom. Seigi finds himself in over his head when a powerful girl, using the same secret weapon, violently pursues him in order to retrieve it. His skill at martial arts may not be enough to keep him alive, but will he be able to learn how to trigger the power of his tattoo in time? Dun dun dun.
I think, yes. What are your initial impressions with this? The 2 episodes you watched.
I mean, I was actually expecting it to be more tropey, like especially after you had messaged me. I was expecting it to be like obnoxious as fuck.
Okay.
But otherwise, my initial thoughts were like, it's almost good, but it's so bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like kind
Well,
of how I felt. What about you?
I think like the only good thing about the show is like the fights and like
Yeah,
the
the fights are
animation
good.
for the tattoos is good, but everything else is really bad. Mostly, I think the worst part about it is like just the delivery of the storytelling and the characters. The
Yeah.
characters are very like just lame, and like it's trying to be like a hashtag edgy show,
Yes.
like a lot of
Definitely.
anime is. I feel like that's just been the word of the podcast this summer is hashtag
Yeah. Hashtag
edgy.
edgy. Yeah. Not etchy.
But yeah, and
Edgy.
then edgy,
Yeah.
and then it just the tone kind of jumps all over the place. Like it
Yeah.
gets really serious for the fights for a bit, and then it like tries to be comical
Yeah,
because
the
like
random bits of
the
humor, like when they go randomly kind of like chibi and whatever, like it doesn't work. And it's like in the first 5 minutes, they're setting this really like serious action tone, and then they just like kind of sloppily like throw like a cutesy what's supposed to be like, humor relief, and it just doesn't work. I was like, wait, what?
yeah. I didn't like the humor bits. I kind of enjoyed, but they were just like not framed well.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
some
it's
of
not that they weren't
some of the humor
enjoyable.
bits.
Some of them were. It's just the way they introduced it was very disjointed, is more what it
Yeah.
was. It's not that they weren't funny. It was just, it's something about it didn't quite, like, flow. Which I guess is kind of what I meant by when I was like, well, the show, it was like, it was almost good, but it's really bad. Because it's like, I feel like they had the basis of a good idea, and then, they're like, we want to have these superpowers, this organization. Oh, tattoos are cool. They're not really as huge in Japan.
Yep.
Let's do that. And then, oh, well, I
Yeah.
guess we should have this kind of character too. Oh, I'm going to throw her in there because she's got big boobs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel it's like they had a good, decent idea, and then they didn't bother to actually, like, really develop it, and just threw in, like, what they think they needed to have, and then went from there.
Yeah, I liked because like the tattoos are like a secret weapon for America. They've got like the secret agent characters who like speak English every once in a while, so like that was sometimes funny. But like I like how the girl characters, like of course she's got white hair. It's like, oh, of course her tattoo makes it so she doesn't age, so she's just like permanently a lolly girl, or not, maybe like slightly older than lolly,
Yeah.
but
Oh my
still
God, can we
like
talk about-
flat chested and yeah.
Can we talk about her name for a second?
I don't remember.
Bluesy.
Oh yeah,
Floozy.
bluesy. Watashi wa bluesy floozy desu.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I don't even know. Like,
Yep.
in no language is that like a name.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
I was like, what the fuck? And then also, I was like, do they know what a floozy means? Like, I know they don't spell it like, like a kind of slutty floozy, but still, I'm just like, oh my God. Died a little. I was like, oh no. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Can we just can we talk about like the main character? He's got like this school friend who's a girl who's kind of like a childhood friend that looks after him, but like her boobs are so like, I know this isn't like anything new with anime, but her boobs are just like so not in proportion to her body, and just
I know, but they're not
she just
even
like turns to face him, and the boobs are like blue, blue, blue.
I know, and you know what bothers me, Liam, is they're not even like nice shaped boobs. Like, if you're gonna give a character really big, flowy, jiggly boobs, at least make them like nice and round. Hers are like torpedo shaped. Like, they're just like not like, they're just not a good shape. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good at all. And then of course, okay, so here's one of the other things while watching the show. So, like, one of the opening scenes is, the main character and his childhood friend are, like, on their way to school, and the guy's running behind. Yeah, Segi's running behind, and he's trying to catch up or whatever. And then he trips, and then you see Bluesy come out of nowhere, like, and I definitely thought they were going to do the whole, like, trip and boob grab thing.
Yeah.
So I was, like, pleasantly surprised when Bluesy, like, just, like, punches him in the gut instead. And I was like, oh, so they're not going to be that tropey or whatever. And then freaking like next episode later, you have Bluesy like feeling up the childhood friend in the
Oh,
classroom.
yeah, that
and
was.
and she's all like, oh my god, don't touch my boobs, but keep going. Like, I was just like, okay, I take it back. Take it back.
Yep. Yeah, that scene when like Bluesy like joins the classroom is pretty like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Where have I seen
yeah,
this
it's
before?
definitely targeted towards junior high kids because the main characters are all in junior high, and there's fan service and there's tattoos, which are cool and like rebellious, especially in Japan. Well, I mean, in Japan they're just like, it's just different.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not. I've just heard that like tattoos in Japan are just so commonly associated with like the Yakuza and stuff like that, and it's not like a very common.
It's just like
thing. It's not like here where everyone has a freaking tattoo. Like,
it's just part of the collective mentality, like a generalization that tattoos equal organized crime, and like a lot of the more old school bathhouses have a no tattoos policy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was like doing my group study in Japan, we talked about that like a bit, and then one of the profs was saying something about like, oh yeah, the 2020 Olympics committee has only like just started to think about the problems that might arise when like a lot of the international athletes want to use the bathhouses that have no tattoo policies.
Yeah, that's
so yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyways, Taboo Tattoo, I watched 2 episodes, gave it a 4, and then dropped it.
Oh, you really didn't like it? It does have a 6.03 on Mal. And Mal's usually pretty giving, so, I mean, what does that tell you, I guess, right? So.
Like I said, the only thing, like, Bluesy Floozy was kind of enjoyable sometimes. The fight scenes were kind of enjoyable, but then, like, watching Zetsuen no Tempest after, I'm like, those fight scenes were okay.
Yeah, it's true. Like, it's such a, like when you said it's, like, very targeted towards, like, let's say, junior high audience, it's kind of, like, really true. Like, I feel like if you just, I know I say this a lot, but if maybe you were just getting into anime and you were, like, a young teen, you might find this really, like, awesome and angsty or whatever, Yeah,
but then if someone...
in it, but...
I don't like... The problem with animes like this, if someone sees it who's, like, who doesn't really know a lot about anime, or someone who's like biased against anime already, they might see it and be like, see, this is why anime is like, you shouldn't watch it, or be like, oh, why would I watch this? It's like pervy and dumb.
And one thing I will say too is also like when he first saves the homeless man and he's like give me your hand, and like why the fuck would you give him your hand? Like, if he's passing you this strange ass object, I'd be like, okay, thanks, but no thanks, bye. And just like how this kid really wants the power of his tattoo, yet wants nothing to do with the, army organization, even though she's like explicitly said, like, this would be your life, this, that, and the other. Like, I know in the end he agrees to it, but at the time he's like, I want the power, but I'm not giving a shit about anything you're saying to me about it.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Yep.
So,
no.
Should we wrap things up on Taboo Tattoo then?
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Is like my final thoughts were just it had like a decent premise and it just wasn't executed well. Basically.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Let's move on to something with a better premise.
Yes. All right. So for the good anime, this week we did Zetsuen no Tempest, or Blast of Tempest. Alright, so the synopsis. Yoshino Takigawa, an ordinary teenager, is secretly dating his best friend Mihiro's younger sister. But when his girlfriend Aika mysteriously dies, Mihiro disappears, vowing to find the one responsible and make them pay for murdering his beloved sister. Yoshino continues his life as usual and is not heard from Mihiro in a month until he is confronted by a strange girl who holds him at gunpoint, and his best friend arrives in the nick of time to save him. Yoshino learns that Mihiro has enlisted the help of a witch named Hikaze Kurisabe to find Ica's killer and the existence of an entity known as the Tree of Exodus. The witch's brother selfishly desires to make use of its power, in spite of the impending peril to the world. However, Hikaze is banished to a deserted island, and it's now up to Yoshino and Mahiro to help her save the world, while inching ever closer to the truth behind Aika's death. I apologize, I feel like I read that really bad.
It was alright.
Sorry. But anyway, yeah, so Blast of Tempest. What'd you think, Liam?
It's definitely much better than Taboo Tattoo. It's like, it was also, I got the hashtag too edgy vibe, but it was like done well. It's an edgy, like teen anime done well. And it also had good fights, like slightly better fights, I think. But that's probably because it's like another Studio Bones anime, and Bones just does good fights. And the kind of like lore they built around the magic was like interesting and compelling. They had like, you know, enough rules that it kind of made sense. So those are the things I liked about it. I have like a few gripes, but I can get into those after.
Yeah, and I do agree with, again, the hashtag edgy comment you made, but to me the difference is, and I agree, I think it kind of gets away with trying to be edgy a little more, because the two main characters, like the two guys, like they're edgy, but they're not like, I'm a badass trying to be edgy teenager. Like, no, like they actually are kind of just...
They seem like believable teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of. Like they're believably kind of badass for their age. So I'm like, okay. I feel like they can get away with it a little more.
Yeah, and I appreciated that the art style was like consistent throughout.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the animation in this one, actually. I've actually watched a couple episodes of this like years ago, and I remember dropping it, but it was always one that I wanted to like revisit, and especially since it's been so long, with like a fresher intake, and I think I enjoyed it this time around more. So, well, we'll get into that a little more. So, what are some of your gripes about it, Liam?
No, I guess it just still felt a little shonen-y, and just like I think I just wasn't super into the whole like modern day hidden magic setting. Like, because there's that in like the first or second episode, there's that whole, there's the cult summoning the weird fruit thing from the ground, which is fine. And then like the entire city, like everyone turns into metal. And then the government's just kind of hiding it. I'm like, that's stretching it a bit for me. And it's like, oh, the only people left are the two like teen boys, and they're all like, maybe it's like his friend whose sister died. His character was maybe a little too shonen-y for me.
I do
and
agree
the fact
with that.
that like the guy that was
definitely one I had the hardest time with.
The guy that was chasing them is like the guy. He's like, you know, in the Matrix trench coat with the hat and the spear. I was like, eh.
Yeah, fair enough. I know sometimes I think it's hard when we watch these shows, because it sounds weird, but I'm like, it almost becomes a problem when you've seen so much anime to continue to find good anime, because your standards just change, you know, or like, you know, you've seen the same thing so many times, or, you know, that kind of thing. I think sometimes it can be hard, right?
Well, that's why Samurai Champloo is so awesome.
Yeah, very, very refreshing. Classic for
I guess
reason.
One thing I think I might have liked the show better. Maybe if like the setting was like not modern day, maybe something older, or maybe like
if they fully committed to like a fantasy world.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like the rules with the magic, it's like you have to sacrifice a piece of modern technology, and then the Tree of Exodus gives you the magic power, which I think that part's cool. But maybe I just didn't like that, like the really powerful princess, like the most powerful mage, is just kind of trapped on an island in like a skimpy outfit. So it's like, yeah.
One thing with this show, and I never did get the chance to fully look into it, but so it's called Blast of Tempest, right? And I think it actually does pull a lot.
From Shakespeare. It does pull a lot
from Shakespeare's The Tempest, and also just Shakespeare in general, because like they quote, Hamlet throughout the episodes. And then I don't know if you've ever read or seen The Tempest, Liam,
No.
but so there is a mage who actually does get trapped on the island,
Oh,
but he's there with his daughter, and it's this whole other thing. But anyway, like it
he's
definitely
not in a bikini.
no, but it definitely like hails a bit from that play
Okay.
for sure. I think that's where they
That's
kind of
fair.
got the idea from. So I actually think it's kind of funny. I like her though. That
Yeah, I
is
liked
one
her
thing I
too.
will say about this show is its female characters are refreshing. Like I actually
Yep.
like them and they don't annoy the shit out of me. Like they managed to create like two female characters who are just like strong independent people without like shoving it in your face that they're female and don't need men and blah blah blah. You know?
Yeah, but they're still like they're still wearing like
Oh,
the girl with the
100%.
guns is still wearing that like extremely short skirt, and then the girl on the island. Well, she makes a comment when she gets there. He's like, "Oh, I'm trapped on this island with nothing but a dress. At least you didn't leave me here in in my underwear." And then later on, she's like cut up the dress, so it's pretty much like underwear. So
That's fair, but that's more of like a writing thing. But like their personality wise, like they're not, you know,
yeah, you're right.
how a lot of them are. Of course, there's going to be fan service. Not saying that, you know, it's justified
Yeah.
or needed, but
I guess, yeah, what you were saying about like having watched so much anime already, that's probably why I just like wasn't as into this as I could have been. Has a similar thing as Taboo Tattoo, which just maybe being directed at a slightly younger audience, like a junior high or like early high school audience, because that's the age of the protagonists.
yeah.
But this would be like a much better anime for someone of that age to watch than Taboo Tattoo. So
Yeah,
perhaps
and like,
this could be a good gateway anime. I'm not sure.
and that's kind of
It's
around
not.
the age I think when I first
Yeah.
tried watching this. And,
Okay.
you know, like one thing I noticed then, and I'm still finding it now, is that oh my gosh, sorry, I ended up seeing it. So this premiered in fall 2012, so I actually must have watched it when it just came out, and I actually wouldn't have been that young. Well, high schoolish. Anyway, doesn't matter. One thing I found then that I found now too is there's just like something about it that has not like that doesn't keep me like wanting to watch more.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
like
have that like spice of uniqueness.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think in a way it is unique in certain ways. And like the animation's really beautiful, and other than like super angsty brother dude, like I somewhat like I enjoy the characters and it's kind of interesting, but there's just something like I don't know what it is, and it's why I dropped it the first time. I'm just like not invested at all, and I don't know why, but I'm just not. Maybe it's for some of the reasons you're saying. I don't know. Maybe it's just really
I
not.
feel like it'd just be I feel after watching this I just kind of wanted to watch some Full Metal Alchemist maybe.
Mm. Yeah, it's almost like it's like scratching the surface of something better, but it's just not. I don't know. Like it has an 8.14 on Mal.
Okay.
I don't know what
That's
some of the
decent.
reviews say, but someone's saying it's underrated. I don't know.
Well, yeah, if we're feeling these feelings, maybe that's just a sign we should watch some of the other numerous things on our lists, you know? That's what it always
Yeah.
comes down to. It's like, is this good enough to shove onto my already crowded list or not?
That's true, which I don't
And
think
it
is,
takes
but
a lot sometimes.
I mean, I think it's still worth people like trying to watch it, and maybe listeners, if anyone has watched it the whole way through, if you actually think it's worth it, like maybe it's one of those shows you have to like, you know, watch a couple like 4 episodes before you get into it. I don't know, but I probably won't watch anymore for now because I agree with you, Liam. I have better things
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a wrap on Zetsuen no Tempest?
I think so.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the anime for next week, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
The theme I picked was Netflix exclusive anime.
Oh, all right.
And one of them is technically American, so it's not really anime, but it's definitely like fairly anime
That'll be
styled.
interesting. Yeah.
So the bad one is Ajin,
Yes.
or Ajin Demi-Human,
Yep.
which is a 3D anime. So this
Ugh.
one, it only it has a 7.74 on Mal, and I've had one person recommend it to me. Shout out to Melissa, but I'm picking this one as the bad one just because I think you're not gonna like it because it's 3D, and I also think that the good one is just gonna be better.
But in all fairness, I know I cringe at the 3D and the CG because I usually hate it, but I watched Ruby and fucking loved it. So
yeah, 3D can be good. Don't let Berserk be a thing for everything.
God. Yeah.
Anyways, so Ajin, I'll read the synopsis. Mysterious immortal humans known as Ajin first appeared 17 years ago in Africa. Upon their discovery, they were labeled as a threat to mankind as they might use their powers for evil and were incapable of being destroyed. Since then, whenever an Ajin is found within society, they are to be arrested and taken into custody immediately. Studying hard to become a doctor, Kei Nagai is a high schooler who knows very little about Ajin, only having seen them appear in the news every now and then. Students are taught that these creatures are not considered to be human, but Kei doesn't pay much attention in class. As a result, he perilously the subject proves to be completely irrelevant. And then when he survives an accident that was supposed to claim his life, it signals his rebirth as Ajin and the start of his days of torment. That was kind of badly written as many Mal synopsis, but it gives you the idea. And the good anime is a couple people have recommended it to me. It's a American show though, but it's the new Castlevania series. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love Castlevania.
So
the video game. So.
Yeah, it's based on the 1989 video game Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, which is a Japanese game. And so this was originally planned like in 2007, but then it was in development hell. And there's one other thing. So the art style is heavily influenced by that of Ayami Kojima's artwork in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I'm not sure. Sorry, just doing some quick. So that's a video game, not an anime. So the Castlevania, this TV series doesn't have a page on my anime list, so I'm just looking at the Wikipedia for it.
Fair enough.
So anyways, premise, when his wife is burned at the stake after being falsely accused of witchcraft, the vampire Count Vlad Dracula Tepes declares all the people of Wallachia will pay with their lives. His army of monsters and demons overruns the country, causing the people to live lives of fear and distress. To combat this, the disgraced demon hunter Trevor Belmont takes up arms against Dracula's forces, aided by the magician Saifa Belnares and Dracula's son Alucard. So yeah, I had a couple people. I didn't know about this, and then it came out on Netflix in July, and a couple people are telling me to check it out, saying it had some cool animation and was kind of anime-like, and it's only 4 episodes.
Oh.
So I feel like if we usually watch 3 of a good episode,
yeah.
So if we get to 3 episodes, might as well just watch 4, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
Good picks. I am excited.
All right. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because Ajin is technically not a bad anime, but it's the bad anime for our podcast rules.
This case.
Happens.
We gotta be nice to each other sometimes.
All the signs are pointing towards it not being as good as Castlevania, so.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Because Castlevania is awesome. All right,
okay,
listeners.
well, that's it for this episode. You'll hear the new one in 2 weeks. Don't forget. You can check out our YouTube page. There's a spicy video from Otafest on there now if you haven't seen it.
So worth watching.
You can also... Glad you think so. There's also our Facebook page. We try to respond to stuff on there when Facebook tells us that you've sent us messages and stuff. And you can talk to us on My Anime List too. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening.
Bye.